Good morning, everybody. Steve Clutch here with wholesalingmarketingconsulting.com. On today's session, we have special guest Dom Summers, and we're going to break down his day yesterday. He went out and looked at a few houses, going on seller appointments with the intention of locking up a couple deals. So I'm going to bring him on in a little bit here, and we'll break down his day, kind of see how it went. Maybe we'll get some cool stories. I don't know. I haven't really talked to him in detail yet, so I don't know if we're going to have any trees in the middle of the living room or what. But we'll hear the good and the bad from the day, and maybe you guys can learn something, from the activity. Dominic, go ahead and do a mic test.
Test. How you doing today?
Perfect. So it seems like you kind of scheduled your day yesterday to spend all day looking at properties, right? I don't think you were making too many phone calls yesterday, going out and looking at 6 different places, right?
It was just mainly looking at property, trying to get stuff on the contract.
Yeah. So did you schedule these all on the same day on purpose, or how did that end up?
A lot was on purpose because I kind of knew Monday I like getting my week started by actually doing a lot of activities.
Mm-hmm.
So it follows you during the week. So I set up 3 appointments Saturday for Monday. And then that day, I was getting different phone calls from different people saying, "Hey, I got something you might want to look at." Because I do work with other wholesalers, and they know I have a big buyer in the city that buys a lot of property. So
nice. Did you bring your buyer along with you on these, or were you just going to meet with the sellers and the other wholesalers yourself?
My buyer came in 2, but right now I got a relationship with my buyer. It's more in lines of what I not really say, but if I give them the idea, I'm going to be straightforward with them. I'm going to tell them the problems, if the houses need to rehab, I'm going to tell them. So you can kind of go off my word. And as long as I provide them with, like 100 pictures of the house, he's pretty much okay.
Yeah, I like that you say 100 pictures. Yeah. I mean, that's the same thing when I talk to Gil, or like, if you want pictures of a property and you want to get a good idea of the condition of the house, you need 100 pictures.
Yeah, pictures and a video.
Yeah.
But sometimes, videos don't come out as perfect. So, pictures and video is always a plus.
Okay, nice. Well, let's break down the lead sources of these 6 different appointments. So you mentioned some of them were from other wholesalers.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
How many of the houses you looked up had a contract on them by another wholesaler?
I would say 4 of them was.
4. Okay.
Yes. I probably looked at 7 houses yesterday, not 6.
Okay. Nice. Okay, then how many of these are from direct mail or Craigslist?
The 3 was from direct mail.
The other 3 is from direct mail. Nice. Okay. Some of these are probate or?
No, they wasn't mainly just tax liens.
Tax liens.
Yes.
Nice. Okay. So go ahead and walk us through a couple of these houses, kind of what happened on each one. We got some good stories.
Yeah, the first one was a property that I just went today and actually got contracted. Was on Ringo Street, the 4000 block of Ringo Street. Actually, the seller lives in an old elderly home, and she was trying to sell it because her house is going to sheriff's sale. So I sent a letter out to him, and they contacted me, and her son was living in the house. So he said, "Hey, Dom, come out there, meet him at 44th and Fairmount, which is not that far from the property." So I went out there. Like I said, she's an older lady. She told me to get to the home. She didn't know where I was in the front or the back. So I was out there for like half an hour just trying to find her. She was trying to find me because they was doing some work. So I finally just, called her son. He happened to be in the house. But when I got to the house, he didn't answer the door. So I had went along to my next property. That was the 3 triplexes I went to. Okay. They was all side by side. That was from another wholesaler. I went down there 3 side by side. I put an offer on it, but the only problem was I don't believe he found out there wasn't zoned correctly.
Okay. So it's not something we can do anyways, right?
No. It was definitely zoned correctly. It would have been definitely a great steal. Because what they wanted for it, I think the other wholesaler had locked up around like 30 a piece. I probably could have given to my buyer for like 50 a piece. The same buyer being next door to each other, and they all would have been 2-bedroom apartments. So it would have been definitely great cash flow, heated cash flow. what, $2,400 a piece from each and every last one of them.
So is that it? So on this one, right? So you go there and it's kind of like a disqualified, right?
Mm-hmm.
And nothing we can do. Is that something you could have researched beforehand, or?
Sometimes yes and no, because the property records sometimes they're false, and you gotta just go by what the other person says. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it is new zoning and stuff like that. But the problem with that one was it was previously owned by the Archbishop, mm-hmm. and they turned it into all in one parcel. And the guy posted got zoning, but he told the other guy, wholesaler, he did have zoning, but we came to find out at the end it wasn't.
Yeah. So you found this out from the seller, or doing additional research?
Just doing research.
Okay. Definitely.
And then he was denied, so it's a waste of time.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Moving on.
Yeah. So the next one was a property, and I think this was in West Oak Lane area, also Virginia Road. This property is also another tax lien. This property is owned by somebody who's deceased. It's actually a tax lien mixed with a probate. The mother deceased, her two sons live in the property, and they owe like $6,000-7,000 in back taxes. So when I went there, shooting a breeze with them, they actually gave me a great price on it. I didn't really had to really negotiate it. Mm-hmm. I got it locked up at 63. The comp down the block sold for 150 in 9 days on the market. If anybody don't know, a comp that sold for 150,000 in 9 days on the market in less than 6 months is a great comp. And anything on the market for 9 days is a great comp. So I went there, I walked around the house. Did some little bit of negotiating, not that much, because I'm locked up at the same number they have it at 63. They say same asking price. Because I didn't really want to go in too much, because I know we easily can sell it for 70. So that's not a problem. So I was like, I'm not gonna really negotiate too hard. And but I still got a report in the lines. If I need to go back and try to get a discount, I can.
Right.
So leaving the line of communications open, just not trying to be as hard, just trying to get the contract, mm-hmm. just trying to lock something up, and you can work with them from there.
Nice.
If they motivated, which they are, because they have a problem. They said they do owe $7,000 of taxes, so eventually they will be going to sheriff's cell. And I'm not sure what day, but they will be going. They owe taxes.
Nice.
And this, okay. Now, after I saw that property, the first property I was one from Ringo Street, actually called me back and said he fell asleep. So I went back out there because this property we actually getting it for $2,000. But you gotta pay some back taxes, which really not that much. We have a comp on the block. Up the block actually sold for $17,000. It was sold in like 3 days. So I'm pretty sure I can contact that guy and see if he want to buy it, or see if my guy want to buy it. Whoever get the best number, sure gets it. So I went back out there. I saw the property, and he said he was going to clean up. He's like, I'm gonna clean up for you a little bit. So when I got there, he's like, hey, I didn't really get a chance to clean. But mind you, I was talking to this guy since Saturday. I think even before that, probably Friday. I think even Friday or Saturday, I'm not mistaken. He said he's gonna clean up. So I get there. That's just the usual spill. With
clean the house.
Yeah, clean the house. Yeah.
When you first said that, I thought he just woke up, so he had to clean up and get pretty for you. You know?
So I went there, and I was just stunned about the condition of the property.
Yeah.
It wasn't. I would say since his mom gave him the property, let him take over, he just really let it go. Holes in the walls. Just nothing really. House needed for rehab. He shouldn't be living there. All the mechanics is good. The plumbing, the electric, just really cosmetic stuff. He shouldn't be living in there. He had a couple holes in the walls. A lot of busted windows with black trash bags over them. And he just kept apologizing, saying that he couldn't clean up. So. Mind you, I'm in negotiating with his mom. So I just said, listen,
how long would it take him to clean that? From what you're telling me, this isn't like an hour cleanup before your mom shows up to the house, right?
It's probably like
it didn't stand a chance.
Call your buddies over. Tell them you got some girls, and they come over with some trash bags, some gloves there, and they kind of mad at you for a couple of days. That type of cleanup.
Okay.
Like you really called us over for this? Like one of those things. Like,
I
had one room. I didn't even go in it. I'm not even lying. I just looked in. Mm-hmm. Like I didn't even stick my head through the door. It was stuff rattling. I didn't know what it was. He said it was a cat, but I didn't, After, my first incident with him, I don't really think
it was a raccoon.
I don't know what it was. It might have been a raccoon, possum, squirrel. I don't know. But I wasn't going in there to find out. So it was just a mess. So I proceeded, I couldn't negotiate with him because they were worse off than his mom had thought. His mom had seen the property in 4 years. She's allergic to a cat, so I guess he put a cat in there so she can't come to the house and look at it. So I had to go see another appointment. So I told him, listen, I contacted your mother. So I went to my other appointment in West Philadelphia. That was a duplex. Well, it was supposed to be a duplex, but it was really a single family converted into a duplex. I went there. I actually got that under contract for 18. That was with another wholesaler. She had it under contract for 11. I contracted her for 18, and my buyer's going to most likely buy it for 24.
So what happened to the last one, the cleanup? That one was that was the first one we were talking about. Yeah. So I already marked that down. Right?
Okay.
So that was the contract.
Mm-hmm.
So were you able to negotiate the price lower because of the condition?
Yeah, she was originally I didn't really negotiate. Like I would say,
that's what you're saying. So you didn't actually negotiate with the son. You ended up talking with the mom.
But it wasn't a negotiation. Negotiation is actually me saying the price and they saying counter it. It was I said, how much you want to sell the house for? He said 10. Or then when I had him and mom in person, I was like, how much you want the house for? She said, I want 10. And I said, okay. And then I didn't say nothing. I just let it, in the air for like 5 seconds. And she said, I can take 7.
Nice.
I said, okay. And then I just stopped and, looked. And she said, okay, I can do 5.
So you didn't say a word, right?
No, I was just agreeing. Given that.
But I mean, she went from 10 to 7 to 5, and maybe you said like 2 words, maybe.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Okay.
So I mean, this is coming from like a sales perspective, this is like a common thing, but it's something that's also very important. Like, you hope people will say, the first person who talks loses. Yes. Right? And so usually we're looking at it when you get an objection, you answer it, and then you stay silent, or you ask the next question and wait for them to move. Mm-hmm. But it's like, I think a lot of people that are in that position, like you were just in, for the first time, or they're still new, it's very uncomfortable to sit there and not say anything, right? It's far more uncomfortable for the seller because they don't have, so maybe like Devin went out and said he got 6 appointments, yesterday. The more times you're put in that situation and you can sit there and you stay quiet and you see what happens, and you see the positive results, it makes it easier to sit there. Yeah. And be cool, calm, collected. We went on that appointment, and the guy sat down and said, no, contract, right? Yeah. And I know what's going on. You had it handled, so I just sit back, put my arm on the chair, and let it work, But it's very important, to kind of keep your mouth shut. Yeah. And you just made, drop the price $5,000, without saying a word.
Yeah, the thing is, you definitely, and you got this, when I was also explaining to her about the condition of the property, I just let her know. I know she didn't see the property in 4 years because she's been living in a nursing home. So I just told her how was it when you left, Right. And she told me how it looked, and I just said, okay, I'm just sorry to be the person that bring you bad news. You're probably only nothing like that right now. And I told her the details. She was just so frustrated, and she looked at her son. He tried to talk, and she just told him to shut up, And she was just in a heartbroken situation because, she worked 30 years of her life to, pass on something to her sons. Yeah. And, even like she said, she didn't get a chance to, to see her, she had to go up to the upper room, and yet the properties is it could possibly be lost to tax sale because she owed, some money. Yeah. Well, the son owed money because he didn't pay nothing, and he owed another 900 in water, another 1,000 in gas.
Sure. So you got them to say a price, that you could lock. The $5,000 ended up being the price?
It was actually $2,000 on top of it was total.
Because of taxes or something?
Yeah. So. Okay.
So once you got the agreement, right, you sat there quiet, got the price down to $5,000. So did you go directly pen to paper at that point, get the contract signed, or what was your next move from there?
as I was talking to her, I was actually getting the contract ready. As I was just not saying anything, I was just really just writing the contract form out.
That is okay. That is perfect. I mean, and that makes, especially if you're newer and and you're like it's still a little uncomfortable. Your heart starts to pound while you're sitting there not saying anything. That is a great thing to do to keep yourself occupied. I mean, I used to do this when I was first learning door-to-door. I put my nose down on that contract, and I would just, even if I didn't have something to write down, I would be rewriting over things, or I would be acting like I was writing and not writing anything. My
time after was I'd turn it over to the blank side of the paper.
Yeah.
And I'd just sit there and write anything. I'd write my name 4 or 5 times and just sit there.
Yeah. It's powerful. Because like when it's easy, it's like a kind of like a little tip or trick to make you feel more comfortable. But at the same time, like we're like, what the heck is this guy writing? And that's what your seller's thinking.
And another tip is when you actually at the seller, with the seller, and if your phone rings, people will say don't answer it. I would say answer it and just keep it real brief.
Yeah.
And just say, listen, say I apologize. It can be another seller that I'm in negotiations with. So that just shows them, okay, you is serious, and you got other offers that you got out there. They got to act fast. You don't have an unlimited amount of money.
Yeah, sure.
So I answered. I had like 2 calls. I answered them. Kept them real short, brief, and hung up. But it was 2 other sellers that we negotiating deals with at this time. So.
Yeah, you can just hang up the phone and be like, all right, you'll take $5,000 less. All right, deal.
Yeah. No, I'm just like, hey, how you doing? I'm actually talking to somebody, but I'm still interested in your property.
Yeah.
I can't get a call back in 20 minutes or so.
Okay, cool.
So that just shows like I'm definitely buying properties, and she's not the only seller I'm talking to right now.
So you're scribbling on the paper. Yeah. And then what happens next?
She want to look over the contract.
Sure. So
she looked over the contract. It was something that she didn't like in the contract, as every seller. But I just explained to her what's the, this is our common thing how we buy houses, and she didn't, older people don't like signing paperwork without lawyers present.
Sure.
And so I just showed her, hey, listen, I had a proof of funds letter on me also. So I showed her the proof of funds, said, listen, I really do got this money. So I'm not like everybody trying to sign a contract and not trying to buy it. And so she was happy. She was happy with that.
Was there any specific objections that she had about the contract? Like, why is it only $10 option, or what were the issues that she had?
That contract I actually printed it throughout. It all had $100 deposits on it.
But it was in the bank, eh?
Hey, not really. Before I was really putting $1 there. Like before, like my first couple years of wholesaling, I was putting $1. Yeah. And people say, listen, don't worry about it. I'm going, I'm paying to buy real shortly. Yeah. I'm not going to put $10K down and, bring it back up, blah, blah.
When we were in LA, the houses are a little more expensive, so it's kind of hard to put down $1 on like a $500,000 property, which you can, and we've done it, right?
I locked up $1 million for a property.
With how much?
With how much down?
Yeah.
I think it said like $5 as a deposit.
So we used to bump it up. We get the specific objection more in California anyways, but we would go up to 500 on it. Which still isn't like
I just started doing 100, like maybe this only time, and maybe why that remember the other seller from Somerset. I think that probably was on my mind. I actually printed the contracts out and I put 100 on there, but other than that, I'm really putting $1, $10. I'm not really making it. Unless I know it's a great deal, then I put some some good money on it.
Well, most of the time nobody's even going to say anything, so it's not an objection that arises anyways, right? So was with this seller, was it more just of the objection was I'd want to have a professional review the paperwork before signing? It wasn't any like specific item on the paperwork.
I think it was the 45-day close. 45 business day close, which everybody know 45 business days is equivalent to almost 2 months. Right. I think it's maybe a little bit more. Maybe like probably 2.5 months, maybe. Running time, definitely in between that 2 months and 2.5 months time. She had a problem with that, and I just told her that's just time that we need. I always tell people, and with access to the property, I tell them I'm not a contractor. Even though like my mom did do real estate and I did work growing up in houses, and I know what I can estimate good repairs. I tell them I'm not a contractor. That's not what I do. I pay somebody to do it, so I need them to come. They need access. That's the only biggest problem: access to the property. Right. So I just formed that list. I need my contractors. When you say contractors, you really got to. Sometimes people don't understand the meaning of contractor, so you really got to say, I like breaking it down. I need my plumber, my electrician, my my HVAC guy. I need my roofer.
Yeah.
I need my kitchen guys. They're gonna do my kitchen and my baths. I need my painters. I need my sheetrocks, and my tape and spackle guys. And just when you lay it down like that, they go, okay, I'm not gonna keep showing the house to 10 different people and 10 different schedules. And I'm like, listen, there's 3 of them, 4 of each of these people. I need to get the best price. So of course, if you're going to show the property to 40, 50 different times to numerous different people, be my guest. I would love to. Or we can just put a lockbox on the property and make it accessible for everybody, so me or you don't have to worry about it.
Right. Okay. So the length of the contract was one item. Was there any other items that she had specifically issues with?
Access to the property.
The access. Okay.
And what else? It was. I'm looking at it right now. It was. Oh, she didn't understand what the meaning of clear title was.
Oh, okay.
So it must have bought clear title. She didn't really understand that meaning, so I kind of broke it down to her, basically saying, in Philadelphia, your gas gotta be paid. Your gas bill has to be paid with a zero balance. To have a clear title, the city taxes gotta be paid. Your water bill, and any judgments or lien against that property. Period. Sure. So I broke it down to her. She's okay with that.
Okay.
So she signed it at purchase price.
Okay. So how did you overcome from her having issues with the contract to signing it?
Just building rapport and just asking what was the problem.
Just explaining
it. Yeah. Just, when people have rejection, I really forgot you got to get to the part. Why is it a problem?
Yes. And
I said, what is your concern with it? And 45 days, she said it might be too long. And then we got a contract signed at 45 days. But I just currently told her, listen, I need numerous people going near my contract and stuff like that. If I can get it closed sooner, it definitely will be sooner. I wanted to be sooner than 45 days, so as long as the title come back clear and everything like that, no structural damage, I can move quickly. Mm-hmm. And she said, okay. I said, that's the standard contract that we have, 45 days is our normal length. But if you need me to change it, I can. But, although if I put 30 and we need 45 days, I don't want to come back to you and get it again. So just kind of save out some time with me coming back to you. Give me leave 45 days on there. She said it was okay. Right.
And I mean, I think the main issue there is, one is like people don't want to lock it up for that period of time. Even in a traditional buyer, they know that if something happens, now they don't have another buyer on deck. Mm-hmm. But if they are convinced or they trust that your intentions are true to buy the property, and that you're going to do everything you can to complete the sale within your control, I mean, then it's not really that big of an issue. Then it's just maybe they need the money by a certain date. That's much rarer of a reason behind it, right?
Yeah, some people might need the money, then you just kind of negotiate the price. You need a 10-day closing, you definitely need a bit.
Then you need a discount.
You need a discount for it. Right. I tell people all the time, I can do it in 10 days, but I need a discount.
Yeah. Okay, excellent. So she signs the paperwork.
Yep.
Picking up the third contract of the day, right?
That was my third one. That was my third one of the day. Was that one, and it was Virginia Road, the 2 older men, and the contract with the other wholesaler. So out of 7 houses, I picked up 3 contracts.
Yeah. So I think we got 4. There was the one that was zoned wrong.
Yeah.
There was the one contract you picked up that the guy was sleeping. You went back and picked it up, and then the other 2. Mm-hmm. Okay, so there was 3 other houses.
There's a triplex. Remember, 3 triplexes.
3 triplexes. And what was with those? Just no deal, or
there's no deal. Can't work it. And
repairs, or what was the issue with it?
It wasn't zoned right. It wasn't.
Well, that was the one property, right?
It was all 3 next to each other.
Oh.
It was all of them. It was 3319, 3321, and 3323. So I just went next to boom, boom, boom,
boom, boom, boom,
boom, boom, boom.
Nice.
But it was set up as a triplex, and it's weird. And another thing, when I went there,
so you count each unit of the triplex as an appointment?
Yeah, man. It was. No, I did not also went on. What was that block? It's right. I didn't get to pick a contract up on it.
Okay.
It was 4600 block of Grove Street, I believe it was. I have a tenant in there with a 3-bedroom, 1 bath. That came from tax lien, also direct mail tax lien list. The owner wanted $45 for it. My guy already got a house on that block, and he wanted to pay around like 37. It was his max, and he said he probably would have goes up 39, but the guy really wasn't trying to move on the 45 number. I got him down to like 40. That still just wasn't enough room. That property was actually, it was in pretty good shape. The tenant was pretty nice. Them is not really memorable, as much as the crazy ones, but it was pretty nice. Tenant was okay. I think she was paying $750 a month. She'd been there for 2 years. She probably in her mid to late 20s, I would say. But the house was in good condition. I popped up really unannounced. He told I was coming, but he gave like a 20 minutes heads up. Because he was around the corner. She said she ain't let me in. He was gonna come around the corner and meet me. So when I was in the property, he came around there. We talked. But sometimes as investors, they just know. They just say 40 is the bottom line. But I'm going to send them a contract out. Probably at 32,000 mark. And see what he say. Because like contracts be way better than words.
Nice. Okay, so if you're looking at yesterday as like a whole, what was like the one moment or one thing about it that you're like really proud of yourself? You're like, I was on my game. What's one thing that you did really well yesterday?
One thing I did really well yesterday, just I'll say building rapport with sellers. Yeah. I think I'm getting better over time. I really don't like talking to sellers, to be honest. But I know that's the business.
Yeah.
So I get great rapport with the sellers. And also like when people are really people say it's really not about you. You gotta worry about them and what their needs are. And I really did that yesterday, and I really see how that was a big help. Not really worrying about my bottom line and stuff like that. Knowing I had a deal, but it's still it's a win-win for everybody.
Nice.
Win for my seller, win for me, and also win for my buyer. So that was like one of the great things that I really, really felt that it was kind of good.
Nice. I mean, I'm definitely not going to argue with you on the importance of building rapport, right?
No, yeah, definitely. I think you got to build rapport.
So crucial, especially when you're face to face, because you have so many more tools to build stronger rapport than you are over the phone. I mean, that's great. So if you look back at the day and you're like, so what's one thing, either one specific moment or just one kind of thing overall that you could have done if you could go back and do the whole thing over again? What would you do differently?
What I do differently the whole day yesterday?
Yeah.
I would say be a little bit more conservative. I think my offers is a little bit they kind of high. I would probably like to go a little bit lower on my offers. Lately I've been kind of not as. Cause we in the game, if your offer is not disrespectful, it's not an offer. So by that standpoint, I wasn't really being, really scoring with my offers. I wasn't really negotiating.
Yeah.
I'm a guy that you can put on the phone with somebody that got a $400,000 house, and I can offer him $15,000, and kind of justify my price.
Right.
So, I just wasn't really like that with these, and I kind of see like it wasn't really a need for it.
Right.
But sometimes
still a win-win, and you got the contract, which is what's important.
Yeah, you got the contract, and I also got the main thing, build rapport.
Nice. Okay, excellent, man. Well, Devin, thanks for being on today and kind of sharing your experience yesterday. I hope you guys can pick up a couple tidbits, because there definitely are a couple tidbits there, things that you can take and improve your appointments and your conversions or just general stuff. If you guys are looking to work, I always like talking about the person just kind of starting out. And if you guys have checked out our website, wholesalingmarketingconsulting.com, and checked out the marketing section, we have a $25 group coaching, which is a very minimal cost. Okay. And there's plenty of ways to get started in real estate. From my perspective, I'd love, the fact that you can, get free leads from Craigslist, make phone calls, which is your labor, which isn't, it's just an opportunity cost, and then pass on deals to other people. So that's really what I wanted to create, for the $25 group coaching is, not only can you hop on the webinars live and get priority access to ask us questions and to get advice on how to move your leads forward. We're also teaching you how to talk to homeowners, how to pre-screen leads, how to build rapport and close sales. But what we'll also provide for you is we'll provide leads in local markets where we have people like Devin to go onto the appointments, to analyze the deals, and to lock up contracts. So even if you don't have a lot of experience, you can still pre-screen some leads, pass them on to us. We'll close the deals, and we can partner on the revenue, right? So not only is it a really low cost of entry to start a business, but you can start making money faster, right? I mean, this is built my entire career, especially in the beginning, by calling Craigslist leads, passing them on in other people's real estate businesses for a portion of the revenue, right? Especially, if I'm in a different market, right? But there's a lot of advantages to having somebody that knows what they're doing to go out and meet with sellers on your behalf and lock them up while you're still learning. So if you guys are interested in getting started and working with us, but you don't have a marketing budget, and you don't have a lot of experience, the $25 group coaching is a really great way to get started with that. So if you guys go to wholesalingmarketingconsulting.com, click on the marketing button, you can check that out and get started with us. Until next time, I'll post this replay up on the blog and up on the YouTube and the Facebook group for you guys to check out the replay. And we will be back tomorrow at the normal time. Simply send us an email at givemethescript@getresponse.com or click on the Join Us Live button on our main site, and you can hop on the webinars and join the discussion. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.